Welcome back. Earlier this week, I caught up with Bafana coach Shakes Mashaba as he shared his vast football knowledge with aspiring coaches from around the country. Now, we had a chat about various issues surrounding his squad selection for the upcoming AFCON qualifiers. Take a look. Shakes, thanks for taking time out to join us on eShibobo. First of all, you here at the coaches sessions. Tell us, why is it important that we empower young coaches so that we can have more in the country?
The importance of it, let's refer back to the SAFA Technical Master Plan, Vision 2022, where we're talking that at that time we should have had maybe plus minus 3,000 coaches. I think this is a good start as well. We need to compliment SAFA and Black Label organization for having made this possible. When we come back to the coaches, it's going to be critical for these guys to go through this. I attended the FIFA symposium where they were giving a report back about the 2014 World Cup, and it was made an announcement that CAF is going to be strict about coaches coaching in Africa. They will need to have a certain qualification to be able to coach in Africa. So I think the gentlemen and the ladies, they're doing themselves one of the greatest favor.
You mentioned Vision 2022. Now, you're one of the drivers for that. Since coming in, you've reshuffled the team. You've brought in youngsters that we can see. Obviously, there's a plan towards 2022 and qualifying for that World Cup. How's your stay in the national team been so far?
I think it's I hear a lot of people saying there's no mandate, so you're going to have it easy. There's nothing like that. You know, when you're given a responsibility, whether you're given a mandate or not, imagine if we were to lose all 10, 12 games and we're busy saying we're building up. How are we going to build up? I think the pressure that we have put on ourselves, the best thing that would have happened. I know people will keep saying, we surprised ourselves by winning the games, we didn't expect that. To me, it's not a good thing to say, because those players want to prove that they worth to be in the national team. We as a technical staff, really, your question, it's a big task for us. It's not an easy thing. We're trying to cope up. And fortunately, things are going our way. Like you see the kind of players that we're using. It's mostly young players that will be able to take us to the SAFA Vision 2022. So I think things up to so far, they're still going well.
For you, obviously, in the country, suffered a big blow with Senzo leaving us, and he was, an important cog in that system that you were building up.
Man, the departure of Senzo has left a big void. We can only hope that the goalkeepers that we are calling and those who still call, they have learned from Senzo. And Senzo was, he never looked for the second best. He was always talking to the technical staff, we need to win this game to make a mark, because everybody doesn't think that we can make it. When we look at that list, we're missing Senzo twice. We're missing him as a player, we're missing him as a captain of the team, and then of course as a person who brings people together. His main responsibility in the team was acting as a link between the technical committee and the players, which is a role that he displays and performed with aplomb. There is just nothing really that we can say we're not happy about Senzo in that position. But what can we do? We will have to camp and look at all the players and find out, maybe take the team to the graveyard on a Monday morning before anything, our training session. Maybe that psychologically, when everybody accepts that has happened, can bring in a change. But I think the players are raring to play for Senzo, and we don't want to put pressure on everyone. Everyone's got to be able to realize out of their own that we need to do our best.
You've brought in Mponjane and Kuzwayo as well, and I'm sure that's a reward for the form that they've shown in the league as well.
Yeah, you're quite right. When you talk about the form, that's our selection criteria. It's about current form. And Brilliant has done so well in his team, and the good thing, he was consistent. There's nowhere where he was bad or what. Mponjane, the last game he played against Kaizer Chiefs in the Cup, he was the obstacle between Chiefs and their victory against Platinum Stars. He did very well. He went on to save penalties. I mean, that alone shows you that the player deserved to get a nod in the Bafana because of that current form. What we can pray and hope for is that they keep that form, bring it into the Bafana. Maybe should one of them be called to play, let's see that kind of performance in the team.
And then Pet and Nyauza as well. I mean, guys that have been doing well as well, and you've brought them into the team.
I think there's one thing that people must be aware of, and I want people to remember. We said it's not going to stop us from selecting a player because he's not getting game time in the team. But as long as we know what that player can offer in the national team, we'll bring them and look at them. Yes, if they need more game time, then they take them back. Coaches have a big task. You can't blame them sometimes for not playing players because they've got pressure of delivering. So they'll always play those players that they think they can do it. I mean, the only problem pressurizing us was the missing of Tyson on the right back and Nyauza on the left. That's why we had to bring Beta and Nyauza as well. So we are saying those boys might fit in handily. Yes, we've got players on those positions, but we needed a backup. Maybe a backup sometimes turns into your good player. We don't know. We can't guarantee ourselves.
Coach, Sudan obviously and Nigeria coming up for for the qualifiers. Ideally, of course, a win is what you want in both games.
I think I hear people talking about Sudan. People are talking about Nigeria. The two games are carrying the same amount of pressure. It's not going to be about the 6 points that we're talking about. It's going to be beyond that. You know, Sudan, we're beating them away. They are home. So for them to come back here, and if you look at their position on the log, they're getting nowhere. They've got nothing to lose. They will come here to try and settle us and repay what happened to them. So that game alone, it's got so much pressure against the team. That's Bafana. Nigeria, they came here, we drew with them, and you could have seen they were so much disappointed. They didn't believe that. And they still have that hope that when we go to Nigeria, they will be able to pay back. So that's how much pressure these two games have for us.
Coach, you must be happy that CAF have come out and said they'd like the Cup of Nations to actually happen in Morocco in 2015, in January, and that probably helps you with your planning as well.
I think you're quite right, because if we didn't know where we were going to, the planning comes out here. We're going to know which countries we're going to play, and then which area we're going to use in terms of weather, in terms of facilities, so that when we organize our friendly matches, we know who to play, where and why. So I think that announcement that CAF has done has laid so many countries fierce, because everybody knows now where to go and play.
Well, Coach, good luck for the two games that are coming up, and once again, thanks for taking time out to join us.
No, thanks. We need the luck very much. It's unfortunate there's no shop that sells luck. Everybody will be running to that shop to buy luck. No, thanks.